What is work for you? If you want, you can write it down in the comments. In my personal opinion, work is not appreciated enough. On a lot of occasions, work is considered to be something bad, something not desirable, because you need to enjoy life, right? Because work is not enjoyable, right? More about work and how often we have actually to work in our life in today's video. Let's go. But obviously, before we begin, I have to tell you that this is Yury Experience, and here I share my various experiences about different topics. I currently do one video per week, I upload it on Monday, and if you will enjoy this video, please drop a like, you can also subscribe to the channel, you can also leave a comment. Let's go! So what is work? With my own words, work is an activity, mental or physical, which leads to some results. So you have this activity, you do it, and afterwards you achieve something. And this achievement can be anything. It can be money, it can be maybe some time, maybe energy, maybe relationship, maybe something physical. It doesn't matter. You do some work, you achieve something. A lot of people don't find work good or enjoyable or relaxing. People find work stressful. People find work exhausting because you need to do something. In my personal opinion, more people work than they think. And I'm not talking about jobs, I'm talking about work. And I do think that a hell lot of things in our life is work. And I also think that we need to learn how to deal with work and how to separate work from relaxation, but to stop ignoring this work perspective in our everyday life, and also stop finding work so bad and so not enjoyable as a lot of people do. Examples of what is work. Job. I think it's the first example, the most obvious example. If you have a job, you work. You work at your job. Normally you have some activity, you have some tasks, you have some to-dos, and if you are done with them, you achieved something, and if this achievement was good enough, then you will get some salary or maybe some improvement of your state of life and whatnot. I think it is not debatable that a lot of people don't like their jobs. They work their job, but they don't really enjoy the process. They go there just to sit from their 9 to 5, and they go home and are exhausted and disgusted about themselves because they did it, but they didn't really like it. Short, my personal opinion about jobs: you shall not hate your job. That is all. You shall not like, you don't have to love your job, you don't have to love your task, but you shall not hate it. Being indifferent about your job is not as bad. I personally think it is okay to do it for your job. It is okay to not feel a lot about your tasks that you have at your job, as long as they provide you with some state of life that you are satisfied with. Because at the end of the day, the world works with money, and in order to achieve money, you normally at least have to work at your job. That's the point. So you have to have a job to have money. It's not the only way, but it's one of the ways. And normally, if you want to become good at your job, if you want to have high position at your job, you need to input some work. Which is why, in my personal opinion, although a lot of people don't like working, they see the necessity of working if we are talking about a job. Second example, relationships. In my personal opinion, and especially it works for me, to be honest with you, every relationship that you have with every person in your environment, in your bubble if you want, is work. You need to invest time, you need to invest energy, maybe money, maybe some thought, whatever. You need to invest something in this relationship in order for this relationship to strive. Otherwise, this relationship will decline or remain the same depending on what person we are talking about. Great example here, personal relationship with your partner. That relationship have to be worked upon. You need to work on that relationship, otherwise the other person, your partner, will not feel good in the relationship and will be thinking about canceling the relationship. And here we are not talking about work, taking a hammer and putting something at the wall. Although it may be the case for some situations. No, it is also emotional investment. It is also taking your time to listen to that person, taking your time to understand that person, to spend some time with that person independently of listening, basically. Since for a lot of people work is not something enjoyable, relationship is not something enjoyable if you need to work on it. Which is why for a lot of people, all the relationships that have to have to have work inputted in them are not something that they strive to have. They prefer easy relationships with as little work as possible, at best non-work done. And some people even pay for a relationship when we are talking about friends who you pay for, like not friends who you spend some time with and pay for them. No, you literally pay for that person to be your friend, or like partners or sexual partners. You pay for these people to do something with you, to create this type of relationship with you. The easiest way, no work included, except for the fact that you need to earn money somewhere. The last example, which in my personal opinion a lot of people don't disregard, they don't really find it an example for this case: hobbies. Some of the hobbies require work to function. The more I think about it, the more I think that all of the hobbies actually require work. I had other opinion at the beginning of this video, at the beginning of the recording of this video, but now I think all of the hobbies require work, even though you don't consider it to be work, even though you don't consider it to be exhausting, even though you consider it to be even relaxing, you still need to do something in order to access this relaxation, in order to get some result. And this result can be something physical, can be some achievement, or it can be this state of relaxation. Even yoga is technically work, or meditation is work. You need to work on yourself in order to be able to meditate. And during the meditation you still need to do some work. You need still to put all your thoughts away and to concentrate yourself on relaxation in order to acquire that relaxation. And if it is not mental work, then I don't know what is. That is why, in my personal opinion, each hobby requires work. It doesn't have to be exhausting work, maybe like soul-destructing, body-destructing work, but there is some work included if you want to progress there in some direction, if you want to achieve something. And I'm not talking about big achievements. I'm not talking about, for example, winning the games. You also can lose the games, you just like the process, but the process also requires work. If it doesn't mean that you have achievements like the gold medal or gold achievement in some game, you can just play the game, but that still will be the work that you input in that hobby. I just think that a lot of people define result as some achievement, as something big, which is why they do consider work only be done if you achieve something big, if you have something big as a target. But on the other hand, relaxation is also a target, building muscles is also a target. And in order to acquire them, you need to put some work into it. In conclusion, I will say, in my personal opinion, work is pretty much everywhere. If you want to achieve something, you need to apply work in order to achieve that, even though your goal doesn't necessarily have to be something big. Which is why, in my personal opinion, more people shall try to redefine work for themselves. Go away from the definition work is exhausting, work is something that is not enjoyable and what will not bring me any fun and will only stress me out, and try to define it in some other way, maybe excitement or maybe the way to reach something. That is work too. And I think if more people will see work as something positive, if more people will redefine it for themselves, it will improve their mental health, because they will not have this thought, I have to do something bad in order to strive or in order to achieve something. They have this thought, I need to do something and afterwards I will get something out of it. For example, and this something doesn't have to be bad. It's just neutral. Or maybe even good, because work can be something that you like to do. There's this saying, you shall make your hobby to your job and you will not need to work like a day. In my opinion, you will still need to work, even though your job is your hobby or your hobby is your job, however you want to define it, but it is an enjoyable process. It is enjoyable kind of work, not a stressful one. That's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If it is the case, please drop a like. You can also subscribe to the channel. You can also leave a comment. And I hope I will see you next Monday. Have a great week.